What up, man? It's your boy Vigilante Styles here. I'm gonna mix one of my beats. I wanted to. I guess I wanted to be make sure you guys could see the whole screen. I think it would be better. So it might look a little smaller or a little oriented weird, but I wanted you guys to be able to see the whole screen while I'm mixing. So I'm gonna. I've already got everything set up. Well, almost everything set up. I need to put my SSL native bus compressor in here. I realize that the plugins are not showing on the video, um, but that's not important really. Well, maybe it is. Deciding. No, we'll just leave it like this. Okay, so we're just gonna mix one of my beats. Uh, Very simple, and I'm gonna use a compression ratio of 8.3. And on drums, I'm going to go with a fast release, and then on other instruments, I'll use 8.3, but just keep a medium release. It's very similar to how I mixed with those Waves plugins on the that weekend track. So definitely check that one out. I have that video up. I did that probably like a year and a half or 2 years ago. So no, I don't have a webcam on this computer, so you can't see my face, which maybe that's a good thing, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing so you guys can get an idea of what I'm doing. I don't use plugins much. I just use what is already here. So I have everything set up with the I'm gonna use the MIXBUS compressor, not the leveler, EQ SSL 9000J, and then I do the master bus work on the master bus over here, and then the SSL native bus compressor to glue the mix. Instead of the one that comes with MIXBUS, I prefer to use the SSL native one. It has a smoother character. So anyway, let's get started. I'll shut up and let's go. That's it. Pretty easy, huh? That's what I like about this program. Mixing is a breeze. That's why. I don't know. This has become my favorite. I know you see other videos where I work on Studio One or FL Studio. FL Studio, I make the beats. I always make the beats in FL Studio. It's the best for making beats. But for me, it is. Ableton's good too. Reason's good also. Sure. But I'm just saying. Or Logic is great too. But I'm just saying. But for me, I like FL Studio. When it comes to mixing, though, I don't think you can beat this. You can't beat this. I mean, think about how you set this up in Pro Tools. It would take forever. I mean, if you don't mind it, I guess, whatever. To each their own. But for me, I just prefer to already have my console. And in this case, MIXBUS gives me an SSL 9000J. I like to mix on my SSL 9000J and be done. And I think it sounds good. I think you guys really get to experience how awesome the EQ is. Do I like it better than the Harrison EQ? I do. For what the kind of music I'm doing, I do like this one better than the Harrison EQ. I think the Harrison compressor, though, is just fine as it is. I mean, I know SSL had their own compressor, but I feel like the MIXBUS compressor is probably better than an SSL compressor. Except on the bus compressor. That's why I have to put the SSL native bus compressor in as opposed to using the Harrison one. The Harrison one has kind of a harsher character to it. I don't know why it does. But the SSL native is very, very clean. And it could be that maybe the master bus compressor with MIXBUS doesn't give you oversampling. Whereas SSL native, I always set it to 4x oversampling. So that helps clean things up a lot, in terms of maybe aliasing artifacts and stuff like that. That's not, now with 4 times oversampling, at least that are generated by the compressor, at least now you don't have that generated by the compressor. Because otherwise, without the compressor engaged, the master bus compressor, you don't get, you're really not getting this harsh character from the sound until you start messing with it. And then for me, I would get this harshness. Maybe if I had really warm tracks already, probably wouldn't notice it. But on the music that I'm doing, like this, I notice it on that high end. I get that high end sizzle that I don't really like. So when I use the SSL native bus compressor, then it does not have that ugly character that I don't like. Overall, though, I mean, everything else in here is amazing. And before, I think the reason why I like the older versions of Harrison MIXBUS at times is because they used to use the leveler as their master bus compressor, and the leveler did the same thing, essentially character-wise, as the SSL native bus compressor does. That leveler would smooth out transients, so the top end would never come in harsh. So it wasn't until version 9 where I noticed this harshness on their bus compressor. And then it's here in Pro also, and MIXBUS 10 as well. But that's fine. I just use the SSL native bus compressor because I just love everything else that's in here. And it's okay. It's the same company now. So it's not like I'm using something that's not a part of the same ecosystem anymore. So they're made to work with each other. That's what it is. So, anyway, I love the tape drive, especially on the master bus. I feel like for this kind of music that I'm doing, bussing it and then using more tape drive would just be overkill. So, I didn't want to do that. There are certain mixes where I would do something like that. But in this case, I kind of wanted everything to be as clean and as detailed as possible, so I didn't run things through buses. I just through the master bus. So I'm not using tape drive on these buses. I'm not using the buses, just using the master bus. I would treat the buses more like an effect send, so like if I were to have like reverb here, I'd probably, then I would go to the sends and assign some reverb to it and control this knob or whatever. But there was no need for that. So everything sounds good. And I'm going to print this. And then I'm going to go master it. And then I'm going to put it somewhere. If you guys like it enough, maybe I'll just put it on my YouTube. You can hear the finished product. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to put it up on like SoundCloud or something. Or maybe one of my beat shops that I have online. I'm on buybeats.com. I'm also on BeatStars. I haven't been on my BeatStars in a while. And I'm also on Airbit. And that one I haven't really been on in a long while. So I probably have beats up there from like 5 years ago on that one. But the one that I put my beats on right now, 2 places where you hear my newer stuff, it's going to be either SoundCloud or it's going to be on... Excuse me, I had to yawn. Or it's on BuyBeats. So buybeats.com. Look for Vigilante Styles. That's where you hear my beats on there. Or you can go to my SoundCloud, just hear them up there. Sometimes I just post them up there just to see, what people like or whatever. That's really where I gauge what kind of music you guys are into or not. I just make whatever. Like, that sounds like an old No Limit Master P, beat, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I was going for on this one. As you hear, I make everything. I make 80s beats. I'll make these Master P beats. I'll make modern stuff. I'll make R&B. I'll make dance music, whatever, man. If music can be made whatever music can be made in the computer, I'm gonna make it for the most part, except for country music, because I don't like country music, and I don't do polka because I don't like polka music either. But otherwise, pretty much any kind of urban, music style, I'm probably making it. So anyway, it's your boy Vigilante Styles. Like, subscribe, hit notification bell if you like my videos. If you felt like this was educational, you learned something from it. Check out my other videos because I'm educating people on more things. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to make some videos too. Like, I know you guys love the Dr. Dre ones, I'll try to look for more information on that. We'll really get into the brass tacks on those. Get down to the nitty gritty. I'll have MIXBUS Pro up here, my SSL 9000J. So we can try out these techniques in a more, I don't know, bigger setting. Not just a beat. Obviously, it'd be a bigger, complete song where I can try out different chains, different, drum chains, vocal chains, whatever chains. As long as I have the plugins to do it, which I should have in here. A lot of them. As I know I bought tons of plugins, so I'm sure I have probably most of them to recreate a lot of those chains, and we can try them out in here and see if we can get that that golden sound. We could try bus chains that people have, or they route things to a bus, and then we'll try a chain there, or we'll just use this one. It just apply the technique. Maybe sometimes they'll have a technique where they're like, oh, I'll do a little EQ boost. Nice thing is this is a 3-band EQ, so it's very similar to how a Neve EQ would be. So if they say, oh, I'll give a little top on the Neve, well, I could technically do that here. If they want, and then I don't necessarily have to go grab a compressor plug-in. Each, right here with the leveler, I have 3 different types of compressors that can get the job done, that are very similar in nature to typical ones that you would put on a mix anyway. So, we use a leveler. Oh, we put LA2A on vocals. All right, I'll use the leveler. Oh no, we put some other compressor on the vocals. Now, if they're doing it for character, well, then that's a little different. And then maybe I'll find the plug-in, just slap it in there, and just pass it through just for the character. There's a lot of that too we can do. So those are the kind of things that I have in store for the channel, so you guys can have especially when I'm doing like a really just big ass mix with a whole bunch of where I have to. It's not just like I'm mixing a beat. Like, it's kind of easy to mix beats because you're just setting volumes, do a little EQ compression, move on to the next track. When it comes to like an actual song, well, then that's where I'm grouping, that's where I'm bussing, things like that, because I need to have a better control over the entire mix, because I'm basically dealing with a high track count. When I'm dealing with a high track count, I'm definitely using buses. there are times where I use up to like 5 or 6 buses. I have 12 mix buses in here, so I mean I can handle gigantic, super massive sessions if necessary. Also, if you don't mind your music kind of quote unquote getting leaked, before you release it, but you want me to mix it, send me something. Drop a comment, say, hey, mix my record for me. And sure, as long as you give me permission to make a video to your music, showing people the mixing process, so I can upload it to my YouTube channel and have some content, and then on top of that, you get a free mix. That would be wonderful. I don't do a lot of mastering videos because my mastering is so basic. It's Master Desk. That's all it is. I just Master Desk, turn a few knobs. That sounds good. That's my mastering. That's probably not like very in-depth mastering, right? So I think I can mix your record, send you the final mix, and then you can send it to a mastering house to get it mastered. And but I guarantee that mix is gonna be fire, right? And you'll get to see the process. So anyway, it's your boy Vigilante Styles. You guys be good. Take care of yourselves. Stay out of trouble. Don't piss anybody off today. Until we meet again. All right. Peace.